It was a cold autumn afternoon. An elderly man named William sat in his worn-out wheelchair on a bustling city street, carrying the weight of years on his shoulders. A tattered blanket draped over him served as his only shield against the biting cold. Beside his wheelchair, a small table displayed a few modest items: old American flags, keychains, and badges representing his service as a veteran. At 70 years old, William, a black man, was battling not only his physical limitations, but also the indifference of a society that seemed to have forgotten him. Passersby barely noticed him. Some glanced at him with disdain, while a group of young men stopped to mock him. "Who would buy this junk, old man?" one of them yelled. Another tossed a coin that rolled away on the ground, laughing as he did. William's trembling hands betrayed his emotions, but he steadied his voice as he responded, "I'm just trying to make an honest living." The young men found his words even more amusing and walked away, their laughter echoing down the street. Meanwhile, Donald Trump had just stepped out of a nearby cafe. Wearing his signature sharp suit and red tie, he scanned the street when the scene across the sidewalk caught his attention. Trump paused and observed carefully. Witnessing William's dignified demeanor in the face of cruelty and the unkindness of those around him, his expression hardened. "This isn't right," he murmured to himself. Trump crossed the street and approached William. Standing before him, he saw the weariness in the old man's eyes that still held a quiet dignity. "Sir, are you all right?" Trump asked, his tone unusually soft, yet firm. William nodded faintly but spoke in a cracked voice. "I've seen worse, son. But sometimes it feels like the world doesn't care about you." Kneeling down to meet William at eye level, Trump examined the humble items on the small table. "We're going to change this," he said decisively. Ignoring the cold pavement beneath him, Trump sat down beside William's wheelchair. Paying no attention to the curious glances of passers-by, he fixed his eyes on William and spoke in a soft, compassionate tone. "What's your name? Please tell me your story. I want to understand everything that brought you here." His voice was unusually tender and sincere. William took a deep breath. His weary eyes carried the weight of years of hardship and pain. Trying to hold back his tears, he began speaking in a shaky voice. "My name is William Jackson," he said, his lips trembling. "Once upon a time I was proud to serve this country. I fought in the Vietnam War. I witnessed the horrors of battle, lost friends, but I always tried to stand tall with the love I had for my country." Trump's face reflected deep empathy. William continued, "But when I came back from the war, things didn't go as I had imagined. When I returned home, there was no gratitude waiting for me. People ignored me. Finding a job was impossible. I had psychological scars, but no one cared. Slowly, I lost everything. First my home, then my family, and finally, my hope." Clutching an old, worn hat in his hands, William let out a deep sigh. "I ended up on the streets," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "No one looked at me. People just passed by, sometimes with scornful looks, sometimes mocking me. I often thought to myself, I fought for this country, and now they've forgotten me." By this point, Trump's eyes had filled with tears. "After all the sacrifices you've made, you don't deserve to live like this," he said, his voice firm yet filled with emotion. "I won't allow you to continue like this. I will help you, William. That's a promise." William looked at Trump in disbelief, his face a mixture of shock and hope. "But why?" "You don't even know me," he said, his voice trembling with astonishment and cautious optimism. Trump offered a small, reassuring smile and gently placed a hand on William's shoulder. "I don't need to know you. Heroes like you don't deserve to live this way in our country. If I can make a difference, it's my duty to do so," he said. William paused for a moment, his eyes welling up with tears. "You know," he began, his voice barely audible, "it's been years since someone made me feel like I matter. Thank you. Truly, thank you. But will you really do this? Will you truly help me?" Taking William's trembling hand in his own, Trump replied, "Yes, William. Us sitting here together today is no coincidence. This is the beginning. I'll get you into a warm hotel, and I'll do whatever it takes to rebuild your life." Turning to his security team, Trump issued a firm command, Make sure William is taken to a warm hotel immediately and ensure he's enrolled in specialized veteran support programs. I want to guarantee this is a long-term solution." With trembling hands, William reached into his pocket and pulled out an old war medal, extending it toward Trump. This is my most precious possession," he said, his voice quivering. "But I want to trust you. Let this medal symbolize my hope." Trump gently declined, saying, "This medal is part of your story and your bravery, William. Never let it go. This medal is not just yours, it's a reminder of what we all owe you." For the first time in years, a faint smile crossed William's face. It marked the beginning of a journey from despair to hope. This encounter wasn't just a helping hand, but also a profound human connection and a promise to restore dignity to a forgotten hero. With the help of Trump's team, William was settled into a clean and warm hotel. The soothing atmosphere of the room wrapped him in a sense of comfort he hadn't felt in years. As he opened the door to his assigned room, tears filled his eyes. Sitting on a proper bed, holding a steaming cup of tea, these were luxuries that had long been out of reach. As he looked around the room, William reflected on the harsh days he had spent on the streets, questioning if this moment was even real. When Trump arrived at the hotel, he found William in his room, sitting on the edge of the bed and holding an old war medal in his hands. Entering the room, Trump said, "William, we owe you so much more." He continued, "Today, I spoke with my team and several organizations. First, we will arrange a permanent home for you. Additionally, we will ensure you receive support through specialized veteran rehabilitation programs and anything else you need." William, fighting back tears, said, "Are you really going to do this? For years, no one cared about me. Hearing someone say this now is incredible." Trump, shaking William's hand firmly, replied, "This is just the beginning, William. You fought for this country. Now this country will fight for you." Turning to his security team, Trump gave clear instructions. Get William's health thoroughly checked. Also, make sure he's enrolled in veteran support programs. From today onward, he won't be alone. Trump shared William's story on his social media accounts. Within hours, the story went viral, touching millions of hearts across the nation. People from all walks of life began to contribute, offering donations, furniture, and even job opportunities for William. Witnessing this wave of kindness, Trump gave a public speech saying, "A nation's greatness is measured by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. People like William remind us of what truly matters: respect, gratitude, and solidarity." A charitable organization stepped in and allocated a permanent home for William. Trump personally handed over the keys to William, saying, "This is your home now." With trembling hands, William accepted the keys, saying, This feels like a dream." The story inspired the neighborhood as well. Residents came together to welcome William into his new home, bringing small gifts and heartfelt messages. Children even made handmade thank you cards to express their gratitude. The smile on William's face reflected a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years, symbolizing the power of hope and community. A month later, William had adjusted to his new life in his cozy home. Every morning, he enjoyed a hot cup of coffee, chatted with neighbors, and found solace in the stability he had regained despite the hardships of the past. One day, Trump surprised William with a visit, bringing him a brand new wheelchair. Along with the wheelchair, he gifted William some veteran service medals and a few personal items. As William received the gifts, tears welled up in his eyes. "You've given me my life back. I will never forget this," he said with deep gratitude. Watching William play with children and seeing the community gathered around him, Trump remarked with pride, "Big changes begin with small steps." This moment wasn't just a transformation for William, but a lesson for the entire community, showing how a collective effort could change a person's life. The story concluded with a heartfelt message from Trump on his social media. William's story reminds us of the value of every individual and the power of a small act of kindness. If you want to make the world a better place, take that first small step. Be a beacon of hope for someone.